Well, this is pretty upsetting. We've come up to one of my favorite obstacles on this trail, and there used to be a really cool juniper right here, and apparently somebody didn't have the driving skills necessary to go through the obstacle without hitting the tree, so they cut it down instead. I'm not trying to preach here, but it's really discouraging when you come out and you see just vandalism like this destroying our trails. You know, obstacles are obstacles for a reason. Cutting down an entire tree just because you can't get around it, it's just disrespectful. So really sorry to see this, and I know that the local community here is upset about this. So when you're out there, you guys, protect the trails. You know, keep them open, and don't do stuff like this. This is just unacceptable behavior. All right, let's get back to it. We are out here in Vernal, Utah, and about to start the Sandbar Trail. Now, if you're not familiar with Vernal, it hosts the Vernal Rock Rally every year, and Sandbar is one of the marquee trails that they run. So it's not that far outside of town. Literally, we just drove about 10 minutes from Main Street out here, so we're gonna air down and get out on the trail.
What would you say the difficulty level of this trail is?
Yeah, so, sorry, just shifting into 4 low. Sandbar, I would say, is a pretty challenging trail if you're running, you know, if you've got a lift and you're running 35-inch tires or 37-inch tires or above, you'll probably be fine on it. You definitely want to have a spotter if it's your first time on the trail, or just take it slow. There's a couple of spots that are maybe a little bit more technical, but overall, you know, if you're an experienced driver, you should be fine on it. But we'll see. We'll highlight some of the main obstacles. You know, a lot of it is slick rock stuff, so if you're used to driving down in Moab, it's similar in terms of terrain. You're on a lot of slick rock, which, as you know, has a lot of great grip. There's some sand spots. There's a couple of I'd say there's a couple of spots that, again, have some ledges and are more technical in nature, but overall I'd consider it an intermediate trail. And yeah, come out and give it a go. All right, so we are coming up on the first obstacle that we're going to run today, called Turtle Rock. It's called Turtle Rock because there's once we get up on top of here, it kind of looks like a turtle, but pretty steep climb. Again, it's slick rock, so you got plenty of grip, but let's give it a go. Passengers a thrill, you don't even it out, you stay tilted on tilted kill. So we just came off of Tilted Kilt, which is a off-camber obstacle. Pretty exciting. You can come up it or go down it. Both of them are fun ways to do it. If you have passengers with you, I always like to have them lean one side or the other. We are now coming up on another of my favorite obstacles on this trail, and fortunately we've got the grip to head up the runway. So this one's just basically a fun slick rock wall. Again, the cameras never do it justice, but check it out. So as usual, when you're out four-wheeling, put her in 4 low and take her slow. So once you get done with the runway, you loop back up and down, and there's one ledge down through here that can really get you twisted up. So, just make sure that as you come down in here, you're not going too fast and you're taking the angle that feels best for your vehicle. So that obstacle that we just came up is definitely one that you want to have some decent clearance on. If you don't have enough clearance for it, there is a bypass there. So just, you know your vehicle best. So take a look at it, maybe walk up it first and then give it a go. If you want to, otherwise take the bypass. One nice thing about this trail, now a lot of people that come out here, there's not a lot of great maps. Even Onyx doesn't have the greatest layouts of a lot of these trails. Fortunately, most of these trails are marked, especially the ones that the Rock Rally runs. So you'll see ribbons, and actually if you look out this way, there's a ribbon right up here marking the trail for us. So as always, if you come out here to wheel, make sure that you stay on the trails. Don't go out there making new trails or anything like that. Stay on the trails. We want to keep these trails open, and Vernal's got such a great network of trails that you don't need to go off trail to have fun. So as always, guys, stay on the trail. All right, let's get back to it. So if you've ever been out jeeping with me, you know that I'm kind of a nerd for desert wildflowers and the flora and fauna of whatever area I'm wheeling in. It's the middle of summer, so unfortunately we don't have a lot of wildflowers blooming right now, but I thought I'd stop and show you a couple of interesting plants. The first one, this type of grass that you see here, this is called Indian rice grass, and you can tell because it's got these really interesting, intricate seeds here. And my understanding is that the Native Americans would actually harvest these seeds and pound it into a type of flour. So Indian rice grass, a really interesting grass that you'll see throughout the desert, but especially here in Utah. Another plant that we have here is generally referred to as, or commonly referred to as Mormon tea. This is a type of ephedra, and you can actually take these stems and boil it for a stimulating tea. So that's what the pioneers would do, and hence that's why we call it Mormon tea or Brigham's tea. And then I believe the scientific name is, it's a type of ephedra. It's in the ephedra family. So anyway, all right, let's hop in and continue on our way. So that was a nice little stop because the next obstacle we're going to do up here, again, there's a bypass option for this obstacle, but this is another fun wall. You can see the rubber on the rocks where folks have tried and maybe had to try again. But let's give it a go in my Jeep. And now we're going to be coming up on another short wall, pretty steep short wall. So we'll take a look at it. There's some sandy spots here too, which is always fun. So I'd say we are about halfway, maybe a little over halfway done with the trail. So we've got a few more fun obstacles coming up, and then we'll be back to the road to air up and head back into town. This section can be a little bit off camber, so you just want to take it nice and slow. This is a great part of the trail. I'm going to get outside and show you a quick shot of this cool canyon we're following, and then we'll get back to it. I love this section of trail because it follows this really pretty slick rock canyon over here. And it's just makes for some nice scenery. Great ride. All right, so we're coming up on the next set of obstacles here. This is just a bit of a decline. We're gonna lose some elevation as we go through a couple of what I call waterfalls. So anyway, let's get outside. We'll check out the obstacle in front of us. Anytime you've never done a trail before, it's always a good idea to walk and take a look at the obstacles in front of you. I've done this trail plenty of times, so I know what we're coming up to, but just a good reminder, you know, if you come out here for your first time, don't hesitate to get out of your Jeep, walk it, take a look at the obstacles. You'll see this is just sort of a series. I mean, the camera never does justice to it, but it's just a little bit of a a couple of ledges down through here with some fairly steep departure angles. So be sure that you pick the right line for your vehicle. Here's another angle. Yeah, so the camera doesn't really do it justice. It's a pretty good drop off through here. If you're running a stock setup, I'd be sure to walk down and take a look before you attempt it. Make sure you're comfortable with what you're coming up to. Well, this is pretty upsetting. We've come up to one of my favorite obstacles on this trail, and there used to be a really cool juniper right here, and apparently somebody didn't have the driving skills necessary to go through the obstacle without hitting the tree, so they cut it down instead. You know, this kind of behavior is the exact reason some of our trails get closed out here, and it's really disrespectful to the local folks here who love running these trails. And if you don't have the skill set to drive through an obstacle as it is, then go on a different trail. There's tons of trails out here. I'm not trying to preach here, but it's really discouraging when you come out and you see just vandalism like this destroying our trails. Obstacles are obstacles for a reason. If you're trimming a branch or trimming back some brush to keep the trail open, that's something else. But cutting down an entire tree just because you can't get around it, it's just disrespectful. So really sorry to see this, and I know that the local community here is upset about this. So when you're out there, you guys, protect the trails. Keep them open, and don't do stuff like this. This is just unacceptable behavior. All right, let's get back to it. Another nice little obstacle here. This one's a little tricky because it's always sandy here in the bottom, so you gotta try and maintain momentum but not spin your wheels. Well, with lockers, that wasn't too bad. Well, that's one of the things I love about Jeeping. We just ran into another guy out here Jeeping. They're from Texas, and he asked to have me throw some shots of him in the video. So here's some drone footage. The Jeep community is just an awesome one. Most folks out there are pretty low-key and fun to chat to. So that's what it's all about, making friends out on the trail. So here's some footage. We're gonna keep on heading out and head to the next obstacle. All right, let's go. Well, we made it back to the road. Looks like the storm is just about to hit, which is great. Utah has had just a ton of wildfires this year. You probably noticed the film seemed like it had a lens on it. That's just because there's smoke in the air. It's just so smoky out here, so we desperately need this rain, which will be great to clean up the air and hopefully give some moisture to all this dry vegetation. Anyway, thank you for watching. As always, please have fun out there, be safe, and stay on the trails. We'll see you next time.